This is a Vabravo remix.
It's a trap! Good shot, Red Tooth.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Hey guys, the Muffin Men here, bringing you a brand new series from Star Wars The Old Republic. Now what we're going to do, we're going to pick a class and we're going to go through the 3 subclasses in that class and see how they compare in PvP. We're going to play 5 games straight. We're not going to cut out any games, even if they're terrible, just so you know what the class is actually like. If you haven't noticed yet, we're picking Operative for this series, and we're going to try out the Concealment spec first. So right now I'm going through the gear. I have regular PvP gear, I have 6 pieces of ranked gear, and 5 or 6 of them augmented. So yes, it's a little better gear than you'll start off with when you start PvPing, but it's not crazy good gear. I'm not going to be getting crazy stats because of my gear. It will, generally you'll be seeing around the same stats if you play the spec, if you play the way I do. And this series is just for the new people, so they can, if they're big on PvP, they can see maybe what kind of class interests them. And me and the other member of the Muffin Men, we don't claim to be professionals, so if you guys have any tips for us, that would be great. Alright, well the spec is about to pop up on the screen. If you want to, you can pause the video, or the spec will be in the description, but I'm not gonna stop and talk about the spec because this video is already gonna be long enough. Alright, now into the first game. The first game went well. You'll see how it ends. It's probably one of the most intense games we've had ending wise. But this spec is really just a solo spec. As you can see here, I'm staying away from the big group battles. I pick this guy off individually, and it's so easy with this class to just drop someone's health completely. So that was a completely solo kill, but now the fight has kind of come to me. And I see my buddy there, the other part of the Muffin Men, so I got to jump in there and help him out. But usually I stay away from group fights in the Concealment spec. This class, when I first started playing with it, I thought it was a terrible like group spec kind of class, but it's actually really good for, say you're getting outnumbered at a node. It's really good for turning the tides. And you can just stealth away. Like here I stealth away, I come right, heal up, come right back, and I just drop some crazy DPS. And what seemed like we're about to lose the node, now we're on the node and we have it. So it's a really good class. On Alderaan in general, it's a really good class. It's mostly, you'll see in the later games, it ends up that 4 of the 5 games we've played were at Alderaan. So you'll see a lot of footage from this map. But generally I was just a glorified node guarder because this class is just absolutely deadly. And I wasn't really mad about it because you know, I did decent damage. You'll see here the game ends. We almost won. We were so close, maybe another half second away from winning. But I end up dropping 340k damage, which is incredible for my first game as the spec. And I get a ton of objective points. You can see there it's about 10k objective points. So this second game, we're on Alderaan again. And I'm going to have kind of the same mentality each time I go to the play. I'll go to the right side of the map because generally maybe 1 or 2 people from the other team will go there. And I just wait and I pick someone off. Here it's crazy. My acid blade, you can see I hit for 8k and then it just starts ticking 10 or 1k, 1k, 1k. And between me and I think it's a Juggernaut that was there with me, we absolutely destroy this guy. And once again, my Juggernaut friend sticks around, but you can just see my acid blade ticking away on this guy. And within no time, before more people can show up, he's already dead. And here comes his friend right afterwards. And if you, with this class, if people don't charge you and they just leave you, you know, one-on-one, you're not going to lose a one-on-one fight with this class. because that's basically what it's designed for. And like I said, the negatives of this class, it's awful really in group play, which I kind of found out it's not as bad as I thought, but it's still really bad. So you'll see in the next couple episodes, we'll compare it with the lethality spec, a healing spec, and then a hybrid spec. And it's definitely not my favorite class, but then here again, we get to win this time. I have 0 deaths, which is the biggest thing with this class. You will find that you are so hard to kill because you can constantly pop into stealth, in and out of stealth. But I dropped 186k damage, a decent amount. Game number 3, we are back on Alderaan, but really no complaints for me. If it was a place like Voidstar, you would see me dropping like 100k damage, something terrible, dying 20 times, because on Voidstar there's no place to escape, there's no place to have one-on-one battles. But here you can just see me absolutely destroying this guy. And this fight was interesting because the Guardian pops all of his heals back up completely to 100%. And you would think, because I already used my full rotation, you would think that I would just be out for the count, but I pop a couple shields, wait for my cooldowns to come back, then I just slowly begin to eat away at this guy. And as you can see, my health throughout this fight does not drop any lower than, I think, 75 before I drop him. And he, at 2 points, he was near death. So it just shows you how powerful this spec is. And I go right from guarding the node into attacking a node. And you'll see in this next clip, I end up just crushing this guy in damage. And then my buddy, other half of the Muffin Man, I called for him to help me out. And this is an interesting part of the clip, because as you see here, the group that I'm with looks really outnumbered. And I usually don't do group play, but it was a part of the game where we needed some offense. So I jump in here, I hit the healer down really low, and the healer starts running away, and I just switch right off to the next guy, and I pick up this Sork, and I start hitting him too. And I don't have a lot of footage from that middle scene, that middle fight, but yeah, I end up just bouncing off to the node to protect it, and we end up winning the game in another really tight game. But you can see here, almost 500k in damage, which is absolutely incredible. And I was guarding the node for a lot of the game, so it just shows you how this class can be deadly. And now this was a game I was really not excited to play, because Hutball with this class usually is it's really hit or miss. But it was maybe because I didn't really know how to play with this class before. When you play Hutball with the Concealment spec, your job is literally just to sit middle and clear out the whole place. I feel like neutral ball is very, like controlling middle is very underrated. A lot of people chase after the ball carrier, all that stuff. But if you can control middle, even if the other team scores, you're gonna get the ball and give your team a chance to score. So literally, I was just teeing off on people around middle. You'll see me following the ball carrier a little bit, and I'll take down the ball carrier if it's the other team. But my job literally this game was just to wreak havoc, and that's what I did. And you can see we end up 6-0ing them, and I dropped 300k damage, which it's not crazy, but you know, it's not bad. Like I think I did my job, and it was a really quick game, easy valor, easy points. And our last game, no surprise, is once again Alderaan. And this game is also a weird game because I don't die, but our team doesn't do that well. You can see here right off the bat, absolutely crazy damage. And I get this guy to low health, and he ends up stealthing, I think, and running away before I can get him. But I end up finishing him off. I end up capping the node. The problem I had with this game is I honestly, if I went back, tried to do anything differently, I honestly don't think I could have. Like I did my part. Unfortunately, my part was just guarding the node. But I did it by myself. It wasn't like we had like 8 people over here guarding the node. So the only things you'll be seeing are just one-on-one kills, which are kind of fun to show. This one Sith Marauder kept on showing up, kept on trying to cap it, but he was unsuccessful. And a quick little tip there, whenever someone stealths on you, because it's kind of sometimes rattling when someone stealths on you, just kind of, like, I had an acid blade ticking on him, so I just ran away. Then he kind of didn't know what to do either, because he wanted to get the node, he didn't want to chase me. So I just let it keep on ticking. I hit him with another poison dart. Then by the time he went over to cap the node, he's already lost maybe 25% of his health. And then you can just finish him off pretty easily. And yeah, at this point in the game, you can see right there, I stealth up and I just come right back in without even healing up, just because I wanted to help my team. And what looked like bad odds at first have turned into pretty good odds as we dropped that, I think it was a power tech. I think we dropped him pretty quick. Then again, same Sith Marauders coming over, but the game ends up just finishing right before I can finish this guy off. He actually does a good bit of damage on me in the last couple seconds as well. But as you can see here, just really mediocre damage, 9-0, so it was pretty good. Alright guys, time for the final stats on the 5 games we played. In damage, I did about 1.5 million in damage, averaging almost 300,000 per game. Kills, I ended up racking up a total of 91 kills, averaging 18.2 kills a game. I barely died, dying only 16 times, which is an average of 3.2 deaths a game. I did barely any healing though, with about 150,000 healing, averaging about 29k a game. Tons of objective points, guys. Ended up with about 50,000 objective points, which is about 10,000 a game. And finally, medals, about 57 medals total, which is average 11.4 medals a game. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.